amazing. So the patient, they feel it, and I feel it. If you do like an investigation, examination of a patient with a slope and without, I would say the Lachman of a slope patient is different to the other one.
Okay, interesting. So I will just ask you a side question of this one. Why do you feel a high slope patient failed his ACL in a primary ACL reconstruction? Do you think that this patient, starting with you, will have too much strain and broke the graft, too much strain and elongate the graft, biological issue, not integrate the graft?
Really good question. I don't have really the answer, but maybe I have an idea about that. So I think for me, it's very typical if you have a history of a patient with a slope and revisions, maybe like 3, 4, 5 revisions. Pretty often they report about after half a year, they feel slowly the knee, it's getting looser and loose. And then once again, they got a new ACL from another doctor. He tell now the other one is stupid. I'm the better doctor.
It was an hamstring.
Yeah, it wasn't hamstring.
Let's go to the quad tendon.
You need a quad. And then we solve the problem. You need a big quad, like a 10 millimeter quad. And then we solve the problem. And he will miss. And he will fail. And so therefore, I think there is something, and it makes a lot of sense if you look to the biomechanics, that we have a loading difference, a normal slope or a low slope of around 100 Newton loading to the ACL, and if you go up to 20 degrees of slope, you have 500. And I always tell the patient, so the 10 kilogram and the 50 kilogram, I don't handle, but it's in the gym, so it's quite different. And I think this is something which is very interesting, that when they start putting weight on it and that they get more loading, and I think there is a problem of integration of the graft to the bone and the biological healing and everything. So I see like a problem of biological healing, elongation, and problems like that on the one hand. And on the other hand, maybe it's like it's a higher loading to the ACL when they are more active doing sports, and then maybe it's failing. So this is my idea about that.
Rags, a question for you, a slightly different one. Do you see in your revision ACL a connection between slope and tunnel issues? I mean, if the patient presents with a high slope, they have often a very enlarged tibial and femoral tunnel.
Yeah, so it goes back to that discussion about biological integration and increased movement when you've got a high slope. So a lot of these patients will, as you say, they'll feel okay initially, but they start getting this laxity pretty early on because of the stress going through the ACL. And you get this windscreen wiper effect within the knee joints, where whether you're using a quad, hamstring, where you've got a high slope,